What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, and make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. Now, for this video, we are going to be jumping into Green Lantern. This will be issue number 4. And if you haven't been keeping up with this line, go ahead and check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you caught up on everything going on with the Green Lantern in the Infinite Frontier line. Now, this is written by Jeffrey Thorne. The art is Tom Ranney and Marco Satucki. The colors are Michael Ativian and letterer is Rob Lay. We do not own any of the artistry. It is all owned by the respective companies, and images are altered to ensure we do not have copyright infringement. With that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, as we jump into Green Lantern issue number 4, we're picking up with John Stewart. Because John Stewart, he is currently stranded somewhere out in space. Him and 1,000 other lanterns, they were sent out to fight. To go to unmarked territories that they had never been to before and try to uphold the Green Lantern legacy there. But when they arrived, their Green Lantern rings stopped working. They lost all communication with Oa, and they are completely stranded out here on their own. And after Green Lantern Stewart sees some individuals that are needing some help, some slavers that are taking away some innocent people, John Stewart feels like he has no other option but to dive in, to go after these guys. And in doing so, he gets himself shot out of the sky because he no longer has the power of the Lantern Ring. And being shot out of the sky, he lands in what appears to be some kind of house or tavern. And now the slavers, they're all out there looking for him. Now, John Stewart, he knows what he has to do here. He has to be able to get to that command ship, because their command ship is what gives their body armor, it gives their weapons the energy. It's all connected to that one ship. So if he can get there, he can disable all of their weaponry. But first, he has to be able to find a way up there. And so he decides to lure one of these guys down into a basement. Luring this guy down into the basement, he uses this as a tactical advantage, because up at the top of the stairs, the others, they close the door. And in closing this door, John Stewart essentially cuts this guy off from his energy source. So his gun, his power supply is no longer connected. And he is just a dude that John Stewart can take on in hand-to-hand combat. And that's exactly what we see. We see John Stewart take this guy on, take all of his weapons, and make his way up the stairs. Blasting his way through some more of the slavers, he now has the capability to make it up onto that ship. And while John Stewart is making his way through there, some of the villagers down on the ground, they're fighting back. To an extent, they can only fight back so much because they don't have weapons. And it looks like the slavers are about to just start laying waste to everybody here. But John Stewart, he's on the command ship. He's up there and he puts a gun up to the guy's head. And he starts just getting information, trying to figure out why these people are even here. You know, they have a crew capacity of like 150. So they can only bring so many slaves. The gas, the time, the effort it takes to actually come out here to get these slaves and to bring them back to their home worlds, it seems like it's almost a waste of money and time. And so John Stewart, he has to ask the question, why the heck are you here? And the slaver lets him know, we are here for you, Green Lantern. We have come for you. We're not here for anybody else. The slaves are a consolation prize. We are here hunting down Green Lanterns. And so John Stewart, taking control of the ship, he lets all of the slavers down on the ground know that they made a fatal error. They went against John Stewart, Green Lantern, and that will always end in their utter failure. And so now, the fate of their lives will all rest in the hands of the ones they were about to enslave. Because John Stewart cuts them off from their armor, cuts them off from their guns, and now they are at the mercy of the crowd, of the mob. And the people, they immediately start revolting. But John Stewart stays up on the ship. He stays there because he is listening to how many of his Green Lantern brothers and sisters have fallen, that have been collected, as there sits a jar of Green Lantern rings on the dash of this ship. connected to some kind of power source that is helping them track down Green Lanterns. Now, back on Oa, this is where we pick up with Jo. And Jo, she's going through the same issues right now, counting up the casualties and the amount of people that are currently missing out there. The entire Green Lantern Corps, all of Oa, has been completely broken. Now, right now, Simon, he's doing his best to contain all of the science cells, to contain all of the monsters and the beasts that are within them. They're just doing their best to try to get some kind of stability in all of this chaos. And this is where we see our young Teen Lantern, really upset, really mad that she has to wear kind of like a uniform or logo, if you will, for the Green Lantern Corps. But Jo is telling her, you know, you're one of the last lanterns. You have a power that nobody else currently has. And so us remaining lanterns, we have to go out here and we have to be heroes. You know, we'll be able to return you to Earth someday, but as it stands, until we figure out exactly what is going on, you need to stay by my side, especially with your gauntlet and the capabilities that it has. You are going to be a prime target for tons of people throughout the galaxy. But this is when Jo and our young Teen Lantern, they go and they meet up with our counselor. Going over the events of everything that has happened, currently the Guardians are sitting in a very odd state. Not sure if they're dead or if they are dying. But after the explosion of the central battery, the Guardians have been stuck in this state for quite some time now. And after doing some investigation, both the counselor and Jo come to the conclusion that this was nothing more than a hit. This was a targeted event meant to do some kind of damage. Because even with the central battery being taken out, it shouldn't leave them in this kind of state. So whatever happened, it was simultaneous attacks. And as these two sit here and talk about the probability of who it might be, because there's not a huge list of people that could do this kind of damage. And after going through the list, after checkboxing everybody that's a probable candidate, the only candidate that they can truly find is the Yellow Lantern Corps. Is Sinestro. He seems to be the most plausible when it comes to the enemies of the Green Lantern Corps. Who else would have the capability, the means, and the reasoning to do it? Because we know in Future State that the Yellow Lanterns, they tried taking over where the Green Lantern Corps once was. They tried taking over as the World Police. And this enrages our young Teen Lantern, completely outraged by everything that has happened, by everybody that was hurt. We see a fiery rage burning up inside of her, and Jo does her best to try to contain the young Teen Lantern, but she breaks out with her gauntlet, and she goes flying off to find the Yellow Lantern Corps, because she is about to take the fight to Sinestro, blaming him for everything that has happened. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Personally, I have been having so much fun with this line. I'm not a huge fan of John Stewart not having his Green Lantern capabilities, but I am very intrigued in how this all happened, who the actual perpetrator is, because I don't believe it's Sinestro. I don't believe it's the Yellow Lantern Corps. I don't think Sinestro would be that calculated and that manipulative. If Sinestro were the one to do this, I think he would be up saying, you know, I'm the one that did this. I'm the one that brought down your Green Lantern Corps because the Yellow Lantern Corps is more superior, whatever the case may be. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell. Make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. And until the next breakdown.